and obviously thought the worst. It was very sore, and he couldn't put much pressure on it at that time. Our trainer, Andrew McCabe, did an initial evaluation on him and really felt like the Achilles was intact, but we wanted to get a scan just to make sure on it. He does have, still has quite a bit of soreness in the calf, so he will not play tomorrow, and we'll just take it day by day. If he continues to show the same progress that he's shown the last 48 hours, then hopefully we'll get him back on the court soon. I'm not going to put a time frame on it, but we'll just call it day to day right now.
When you initially saw that and just his reaction after the injury, I'm sure, did you jump to worst case scenario there?
I honestly, Robin, I didn't see it. I didn't see it happen, and he was off, and then the reaction when you went back and watched it, obviously he was very scared. And when I was told it was a non-contact injury, yeah, sure, you immediately think the worst. But it was great to see him as the day went on. He was on crutches all night, but the next morning we talked to him, and he said he was walking on his toes a little bit, and that's probably a pretty good sign when it comes to your Achilles. So, again, we feel very fortunate. Obviously, we need him. I think it might have been a different outcome had we had Jawan down the stretch the other night. We didn't, so who knows? But, Jawan is a very important part of our team, and we hope to get him back on the court soon.
So for tomorrow and however long that he might be out, it seems like probably the most difficult guy to replace was just one player. I guess, how do you go about filling all the voids that he leaves in his absence?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, you said it best, Robin, it's not going to be one guy. We're going to have to, it's going to be by committee with replacing what Jawan gives us. Obviously, we're going to have lineups out there where we're big. Rink and Joe have played together, especially early in the season when Jawan was out, significant minutes together. Eli's going to have to be ready to give us some minutes, more extended minutes, I should say. CJ is obviously playing very well right now. He played quite a bit of four for us last year, and Matar is going to have to be ready. And I give Matar a lot of credit. He went in there after sitting for 44 minutes when we had foul trouble and guys fouling out, and made a great play to keep us in the game with a composure in the pocket. Made a great kick out to Sam, who knocked down a three. So those guys again have shown some poise out there, and again, it's going to have to be by committee until we get Jawan back on the court.
Where have you seen Matar develop from the time he got here until now?
I've seen a tremendous growth in Matar, and I give him, the credit for coming in and working and getting extra reps and coming in every day. He's been playing a little bit on the scout team and getting a lot of reps and playing the other team's best front court player. So he's getting a lot of touches out there, and that's helped with his development. So, just putting the work in, and every freshman goes through these stages, and he's had tremendous growth throughout the process. So, proud of our coaches for getting him in here and putting him through work and seeing it pay off. And he's going to be a good one. He's got a chance to be a really good player.
Coach, I'm sure the team has grown considerably since that first stretch of the season when there was no Jawan. So just how much can you take from that to apply to whenever he's going to be out?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a very different portion of our schedule right now from where things were early. We had a pretty significant stretch last year where we lost Jawan, and it took us a little while to adjust. And once we lost Jawan and then we lost Emmanuel, our guys found a way to regroup and play some of our best basketball at the end of the season. So just a different part of the schedule with where we are right now. We're playing a really, really good team that's playing its best basketball right now in Northwestern on Saturday that obviously we've had our struggles with in the past. So, we're just going to have to find a way to regroup and go out there. Who's ever asked, to be out there on the floor, play their minutes to the best of their ability. And again, I'm confident with these guys. Obviously had a couple tough setbacks and two tough places to play. And as I told our guys after the game the other night and the next morning in the film session, we're a damn good basketball team. And you don't go on the road in an environment like we faced in New Jersey and have a double-digit lead if you're not a damn good basketball team. And things did not go our way, obviously, down the stretch in those last 9 minutes of the game, but you don't build that lead if you don't have a good team. You don't have a 15-point lead in their first Big Ten road test if you don't have a damn good basketball team. I know the sky's falling in right now. That's what I challenged our guys. Do not look at what people are saying, whether it's up here or whether it's down here, whether it's the media, whether it's the fans, whoever it is, we got to stay more even. We can't ride the roller coaster of emotions. And, you know, it's a tough time to play in the social media era that we are in right now. But we got to be more even. We can't be as emotional as we've been in the last couple games when things haven't gone our way. And then, again, when they walk in and you see them licking their wounds a little bit, you know they're reading everything out there. Teams aren't winning a lot in the road right now, and we're part of that. We're 0-4 in this league, but we've shown we're capable. You know, I think a lot of people forget we had a 16-point win on the road against a team in the Big 12 that's 5-1 right now. So we've shown that we have the ability to do it. We got to be more consistent. There's no doubt about that. We have to be more consistent to finish these games off and get in the winning column in this league on the road to know we can do it. We have to protect home court. We have to continue to do the things that we've done in the 3 really good wins that we've had at home. But I've challenged our guys. You got to put that stuff aside. You can't read it. You can't have the highs and lows that go along in this business. It'll drive you crazy. And, you know, hopefully our guys buy into that.
Right, finishing games, since you brought that up, what needs to happen differently from a basketball perspective for the outcome to be different?
Well, that's different things. I mean, the other night it was rebounding, obviously. I mean, we could not get a rebound. You find a way to get 2 of those, and we're on the other end of it. But again, Jawan's out and Joe fouls out. We just could not go out there and get it. You know, those things happen. And, you know, obviously the execution in the second half, the last 9 minutes, we did some really good things, and we tried to stick with that formula. You know, we missed a wide open layup in that. We missed 2 wide open threes where guys weren't within 5 or 6 feet. We missed a 1-on-1 free throw. We had opportunities that we just didn't capitalize on. Give Rutgers credit. They really ramped up their pressure and made life difficult on us. But, you know, for the most part, when you look over at the course of that game, the first 15 minutes of the first half and, you know, the first 11 minutes of the second half, we did some really good things offensively against one of the best defensive teams in the country. We got to keep doing the things that make us successful. And when you go back and watch that, you know, the turnovers and, you know, the poor possessions that we had, you got to eliminate those if you want to win a game like that on the road. We had a 12-point lead, and we just threw the ball right to them. We had the ball to hopefully go up 14 on a 2-on-1 advantage, and we threw the ball right to them. They come down, hit a 3, now it's 9. Now it's manageable, especially in a road game. So it's just those mistakes that are being made. We got to eliminate, especially the unforced ones, and then you can start winning those games. You know, this is a team that's gotten better as the year's gone on the last couple seasons. And, you know, we have to get better overall as a team, and we're going to keep working and keep pushing and keep coaching. You know, people have no idea what goes on behind the scenes to try to get your team right, mentally, physically, to prepare them to go out and play these games to the best of their abilities. And our guys are doing that. They are going out there, they are fighting. Whatever happens on Saturday, we're going to keep swinging, and we're going to keep fighting, and we're not going to quit. I promise you about this team.
After the Iowa game, Josiah made a comment about as the game kind of got away late, that guys were almost kind of unapproachable, and they just seemed like the receptiveness to leadership and kind of banding together wasn't where it was earlier in the year. In that game, the Wisconsin game, the last time out at Rutgers, have you noticed anything like that?
It was actually, to be honest with you, Robin, it was a lot better at Rutgers. I mean, the guys were talking, they were trying to figure it out in the huddles, and believe me, we talked a lot about that before our film session after the Iowa game, the body language, you know, the guys not communicating with each other in the huddle. You know, I talk about, and I know our guys get sick of it probably, but I talk about my playing days, and the best team I ever played on was the team with the Minnesota Timberwolves that went to the Western Conference Finals. That was a Sam Cassell hip away from probably winning an NBA championship. We didn't need to coach. We sat there and figured it out before the coach got in the huddle, and then Flip Saunders told us to play. Our guys have had moments of that. When you look at the Indiana game and Michigan State, even when they were going on their runs, when we were facing adversity, those guys were communicating and talking to each other and being receptive in the huddles anytime there was a timeout. And against Iowa, it was the opposite. So again, all you can do when you look back on a game, everything's a learning opportunity. And when we went back and watched that Iowa game and talked about it as a group, we corrected it. And, you know, again, even though things didn't go our way against Rutgers, I really felt like they were making a conscious effort to have constructive conversations and communication. And it has to continue on that way if we're going to have a chance to have sustained success. But, you know, again, I do believe in our guys because I've seen it the majority of the time. I'd say Iowa really was the outlier in that. in the game this year. So, hopefully we're better on Saturday because we're going to have to be, because adversity is going to slap us in the face at some point in this game tomorrow.
To your point about having to stay even through times like these, how have you seen the team respond mentally over the past couple days?
Yeah, listen, this is a tough stretch. It's actually very reminiscent to me. It reminds me a lot of what happened after Penn State last year. You lose Emmanuel, you have a long flight, a 3.5-hour flight home. You get back late. This one was a lot later than I think Penn State was an afternoon game last year. You get back, you're in your bed at 3:30, and guys probably didn't fall asleep till 5. So yesterday was a mental day. We were going to go a little bit harder than we normally do because of today being the day before an early game. So we got to bounce back. And yesterday our guys were locked in. We did a little bit of live stuff. A few guys didn't just because they're banged up. And then today, we got them up and down, probably a little more than we normally would in an afternoon game, but I felt we needed it. We had to have that after what happened at Rutgers. So yeah, the guys respond. I know I talked about that in the last game going into Rutgers, and we played, again, some pretty darn good stretches of basketball, but didn't finish the job. And that's, at the end of the day, all that matters. So, now we got to find a way to close it, to get confident, to know we can win those games. Even though we ran away with, at the end of the day, Purdue, we made big plays down the stretch. Michigan State took a lead with under 3 to go. We made plays down the stretch. Indiana, we extended the lead down the stretch. So we've shown that we can do it in this building. Now the challenge is doing it away from this building when the hostility of the crowd starts happening. So, we just got to continue to go out there and hopefully protect home court and find a way to start finishing games on the road. But again, the thing that I am excited about is we've had double-digit leads on the road. We came back from a 15-point deficit at Iowa. We gave ourselves a chance. We had a lead with 14 minutes to go. Now we got to correct the endings, and if we do that, we're going to be fine. We're going to be just fine.
Just besides Garden, Boo Booey, what are the keys against Northwestern?
Yeah, I mean, they're so good. They're so smart. Chris does a hell of a job with this team. Boo Booey is, in my opinion, top 5 point guard in the country. And just his ability, he shoots that floater from 16, 17 feet like it's nothing. He's just got every trick in the bag. He's a great finisher. He's a great passer. Nicholson's top 50 in the country in offensive efficiency because of Boo Booey, because Boo Booey's getting them lobs and dunks and dump-offs. And Nicholson's a very good offensive rebounder. But, it all starts with him. But that whole team, they're tough. They're gritty. And, they had a chance. They were tied with under a minute to go against Wisconsin in their game a couple weeks ago. So, this is a really, really good basketball team. And, Boo Booey just puts you in all kinds of difficult situations because of his very diverse skill set.
Coach, Nebraska's going to honor the 93-94 team tomorrow. What do you remember about that team from your playing days?
Yeah, that's why I was late coming in here, because I was talking to a lot of those guys out there. It was a special team. They whooped us twice that year when I was at Iowa State, and they had everything. Pajkowski was the go-to guy. He was so hard to guard. Jawan Boone was so good with the ball in his hands. Eric Strickland with his toughness and his ability to shoot. The bigs played their roles, I thought, perfectly, and they had athletes, they had rebounding. And, it's going to be, I think, a really fun night. We're going to get together and have dinner tonight, hear from Coach Nee, and, get a chance to hear him speak. So we probably won't get out of there until about midnight when you open up the floor for him. But, it was great. I was just talking to Gary Bargan out there and several of the players, and it's great to see him back because those guys, I didn't know them very well, obviously, but, the chance to play against that team, that was really a special group.
Coach Nee, what do you think, Fred, that he means to where this program is at today? And
Say it again.
What are your impressions of Coach Nee and what he means to this program as a whole?
Yeah, Coach Nee did a home visit with me in Ames, and he was a hard guy to say no to. And I think when you look at the talent that he brought in to Lincoln, it shows why he had the best stretch of basketball in the history of the program. And he was on my radio show, it's probably 3 weeks ago now, I guess, and Greg Sharp asked one question, and then he just went on for a half an hour. It was great to hear him, because I caught up with him a few times over the years, But just to be able to sit there, I tried to interject once or twice, and I just like, you know what, I'm just gonna let Coach go. But yeah, he's meant a lot to this program. I mean, some of the best seasons, obviously, in the history of the program. So he's going to get a great ovation. He deserves it, and it'll be great to have him back in Lincoln. Thank you.